Hi guys, welcome back to the BMW Guy channel, and today we're going to be discussing mods. My last video on mods went down really well, so today we're going to be talking about performance mods, and more particularly diesel performance mods. Now I'll also touch on mods that we can do to petrol engines as well, but this is a BMW 120D 2007 M Sport, and my heart is with the diesel. I'm a diesel guy. And some people say that you're not a true car person if you like diesels, but I would argue you're not a true car person if you don't like all cars. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the sort of top 5 ways to boost power on your BMW. So first of all, sort of the most common way that people will do these on these sort of diesel engines, obviously this being the M47 engine, is to do something like a remap. And this essentially changes the way that the engine records data. It can also skew data in order to cause the engine to make more power. Hello Bob. Turbo diesels are sort of renowned for having a lot of capability with remaps. So yeah, sort of a standard remap on this car is going to add sort of between 20 to sort of 40 horsepower. They cost around 400 quid, and they'll also add about 50 newton meters of torque as well, which is a nice little increase on the standard vehicles. And there are multiple companies that can do this. They can come to your house and do them. You can do them remotely. You can go somewhere to do them. So the best sort of ones you want to do are the ones that are done on a dyno, so that they're really customized to your car, and that so you can ensure you're getting a quality product that's designed around your car, rather than sort of one that's a general product for the car. The reasons for this, obviously, this vehicle here is done nearly 99,000 miles, and so it's definitely going to perform differently to something that's got 20,000 miles on it. And obviously any extra stresses could damage this engine, or it may be that the engine can be manipulated in a way that actually means it can unlock more power than a tighter engine. So yeah, that's definitely something to look out for. But then the second option for increasing power, it's just a quick easy one, a supplementary one, is to upgrade your air filter. So I'm currently running an OEM air filter, but I did look at going for a K&N air filter. And basically what these do is they improve the airflow to the engine, which essentially boosts performance. It allows the turbos, it means that the turbo can work more efficiently because it can suck more air into the engine and produce more power. Essentially, it's a nice easy equation. It's basically cold air plus fuel equals more power, and as the more fuel and more air increases, the power increases. Obviously you need to take care of other bits in the car to accommodate it, but that's essentially the simple calculation for how to get more power from your car. So a performance air filter is essentially going to allow the car to breathe much easier, allow much more air to enter the airbox and then be fed down into the engine here. So yeah, it's just another nice easy little mod that you can do to boost the performance in your car. Another one, again, this is a bit more intense now, but we're talking about uprating intercoolers. So like I said before, it's all well and good getting a nice amount of air in, but if that air is warm, it is less dense, and the turbo prefers to have denser air, so cooler air, to essentially work more efficiently. You may have seen Ricky on Living Life Fast, or something like that. The people that go for big power on like M3s and M4s have meth injection, and that is purely to almost freeze air as it goes into the engine, to allow for the turbos to really give it that extra kick and boost power even more. So intercoolers will then give you cooler air through your air filter, and then basically just boost power dramatically. Obviously, so you sort of allowed the engine to breathe in more, but then what we need to do is we need to make the engine breathe out more. So what we would then do is look at going for something like an exhaust, or sort of out manifolds, decats, etc. New manifolds, new decats, new downpipes, new back boxes, essentially to allow all of this new extra air that we've sucked in, burnt, and then sort of turned into carbony, sooty stuff to then come out. So obviously all these things are great, but if you're then taking it through a pipe that's that thin rather than that thin, you're really restricting the actual ability of the car to produce the power. So yeah, that's if you're looking again for bigger power, that's another thing you would do. It's the sort of process that they do on these mental Volkswagen 1.9 TDI 400 brake horsepower cars, as they're essentially getting loads more cold air in and allowing the engine to breathe much more, and turning up the fuel and allowing it to exit in a way that is effective. So yeah, that's just a quick sort of video explaining you. It's more of a video explaining how to tune a diesel, if I'm honest, but these are the sort of performance modifications that are available for your car if you're an M47 engine. In terms of petrols, it's all sort of a fairly similar story, especially if it's turbo. It's pretty much exactly the same system. So any of the sort of modifications that I suggested before will also apply to the petrols, but they are just that bit more effective on diesels due to the reliance on the turbochargers, etc. If you're going for big power petrol, and also this could go for diesel, increased diesel pumps, etc. These are all ways of getting even more power, but then you're sort of getting into the big bucks and sort of transforming a car into something that isn't really a daily drivable vehicle. Obviously with all these modifications you need to make sure that you declare them to your insurer. If you don't, you obviously won't be covered. You can be done for driving without valid insurance, because your insurance is instantly validated as soon as you modify your vehicle beyond manufacturer spec. Hence why I keep mine fairly stopped, because it's so much easier to insure and cheaper. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.